Hello, this is Matthew Marco with abnormalmapping.com, and welcome back to this Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIII. We'll be doing after-the-fact commentary for the rest of this chapter, because I recorded all these all in one go. I mean, we covered that already. We're here at the top of Tajin's Tower. The tower was a climb, but I spent all last episode complaining about this game in kind of broad strokes, but in reality, when I'm just kind of motoring through a dungeon, it's fun. It's not very interesting. This is clearly a game that was a poor choice to let's play. But yet I want to let's play the other two, so I'm the idiot. And I'm sorry that you came along on this journey, because it was dumb.
Hey, look!
It's acting strange. He must be weak from losing his tail.
Yeah, looks plenty feisty to me.
He's bluffing to scare us off. Let's just go with that, all right? Come on, we can do this.
We can win.
And here we have a great big boss fight. It's been a while since we had an actual boss. I did some tough enemies off camera that I guess would count as bosses, but this is an actual boss. At this point, we're really over leveled though, so not to spoil, but once you get the buffs going, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I complained about last time, but in reality, this is the whole setup that's going to last us through the entire rest of the game. Go med, sin, sab, and buff and debuff, and then switch to Ravagers and a Commando, and maybe some healing if we need it. I don't even touch Sentinel again, I feel like. That relentless assault does all of our damage for us. It's really good. I won't be sad about that, because it's fine that I found a thing that works. In any RPG you eventually find a thing that works. It's just this game is at its best when you're like changing things up a lot. In reality, I just switched between these 2 or 3 paradigms. I didn't even need to build the other 3 out. So, it is what it is. I'm not too crushed about it. I'll live. But yeah, this guy going down real fast, since we are just walking death at this point. I love how cool these big bosses look. Say what you will about Nomura's designs, and I've given out about how frustrating all the goofy outfits are and how ornate it is and all, but when you get a big giant monster that's just full of detail, it's impressive. Recently played Final Fantasy VII, and like that's a game that's got a lot of character suggested through really like low detail enemy models, and this game is kind of the entirely philosophical opposite of just packing everything with 1,000 lines and little fiddly bits. But it all feels consistent internally to the game. Certainly don't mind it. I would like to see a modern game that looks maybe less dense than this, but with kind of the same ideas behind it. Certainly couldn't hurt. Certainly hasn't been tried before. Which is maybe a mean thing to say, but whatever. I'm sometimes a mean person. Or something. But yeah, like honestly, there's not much even to say about this boss. Just sit there and cure up and then kill it. I love the lighting. The game's got some good lighting. It seems, I don't want to say shallow, but it seems a little ridiculous to focus so much on how a game looks, but sometimes honestly it can carry the day. If this game was not as much of a looker, I feel like I'd have a really hard time playing through it. And that's just because it adds to the atmosphere. Like, it's fun going through every area when every area looks fantastic. Unfortunately, like, not all of them do look fantastic, but for the most part, I think we do okay. Yeah, this boss is going down. Once we get up to 999 stagger, that thing just falls real fast. Look at this guy. He's gonna eat it. So close. We must not have haste on Hope yet. We get that soon enough. Makes everything way faster. It's nothing like a good haste. Oh, and the boss is dead. Good job, party members.
Look!
Nice.
He's saying thanks.
At last, we are free. We go now, to hunt down evil where it hides.
So I guess that means there are still more monsters like that one out there.
Sounds like it. Somewhere out there on Grand Pulse.
Gone just like that. Big hunk of rock, that thing sure can move.
Guess they're just doing what they can too. Trying to save the world. Yeah, well, it's not all on them. Last time I checked, we are still in this fight.
Ereba's right down there then, isn't it?
Yep.
So what's it like?
Well, it's kind of small, but it's warm and green and very naturey.
Around the Foul Sea, it was flowers as far as you could see, huh?
View from here? Ain't so rosy, I'm sorry to say.
You want to wait here?
No. I need to see for myself. It's all gone.
Every trace of color. We're chasing shadows. This whole idea of losing our brands is hopeless.
There's gotta be a way.
Let's keep on looking. That's what we came here for. We all agreed, and now we're here.
You think it's really possible?
Sure. Anything is.
There's no going back. You don't think I know that?
Come on.
Okay, story sequence taken care of. Don't quite have new crystariums yet. I was checking because I had a bunch of points I wanted to spend. It's very soon though. At least I'm pretty sure it's soon. I guess I could be wrong. Trying to pick up missions, never go and get that one. I still have no idea what it is. Can't be bothered to do every mission. In a world with infinite time, I would like to sit down and do all those, but I don't, and I have a bunch of other games I want to play. So in reality, just beating the story is as complete as this game is ever going to get for me, which is fine. I'm not too broken up about it, honestly. Being completionist is not really what I'm about anymore. I used to be. I used to be that person up and down, but the times they are changing, and I play too many games now. I think that's true for a lot of people when they were younger, though.
Now that looks like an easier way to get where we're going.
Let's take it. Wouldn't want you to throw your back out climbing, old man.
You really are a charmer, aren't you?
If that thing can travel in snow, why didn't we just take it all over Pulse? Why don't we drive it up to Erba? We have to do a bunch of running on the snow. Look at that. That looks gorgeous. What a good looking game. I love the Cocoon in the background. I think it's so pretty. Still waiting for that Crystarium. I actually think it might be at the end of the chapter, which is a bummer. But once I do it, I have a ton of points to spend. I don't remember if that's in this video or not. My apologies. I'm recording this probably about a week after I actually did it. Things have been really disjointed. It's currently Thanksgiving night, actually. A little logie from a bunch of turkey, but I'll power through. This area to me feels like the most Final Fantasy X this game ever feels. Like there's just a real Xanarkin vibe to all of this. We continue to cut out battles, so there's nothing very interesting here. Just a bunch of fighting, but none of it novel in any way, which is sad, but nah, to be expected at this point. This game seems like it ran out of tricks a while back, really. Look at that snow and the sun. Looks great.
Finally back. After how many centuries?
I also like this one abutment of normalcy in the rest of this. The stuff on Pulse feels very, like, run-down, slightly futuristic but relatable versions of real-world places. And this place in particular, like, it's just a paved asphalt road. It even has lines in it and everything. It gives you this sense of, like, a ruined, like, home more than anything Cocoon ever did. And I know that's intentional. It's really great art design. This area is probably one of the most interesting areas without being like just visually flashy up and down in the game. I do grab this one because this is a teleport stone, and I use it later when I do some grinding after this chapter off camera. I'll talk about it a little bit in the next episode. Stop and get some goodies and power up and get set for the last couple chapters.
Which is your house?
What do you mean, which is ours? All of them. They're all ours.
Yep. Everyone in the village lived together.
One big happy family?
One heck of a lot of places to hang your hat.
We're back.
So, you want to take a look around?
We'd better. Gotta find something to help us lose these brands.
That's not the only reason we're here. You're finally home. Make the most of it.
And yeah, we can explore. I actually end up missing a bunch of stuff. There's like a robot here that you can interact with. It's not really important to get you some items, but I was kind of pushing through to the end as much as I could. I thought all of them were just these little text pieces, which aren't very interesting. But there's actually a little more going on here. A little more, not a lot. But it's not a huge deal. Like I said, the enemies here are not particularly new, and they take forever to kill. It's really frustrating, because they're not hard, and there's no trick to them other than you wail on them until they die. These things in particular, like that big guy, they just take forever. Like, it's like 3-4 minute battles, which doesn't sound like a lot, but most of my battles are about 15 seconds. 4 minutes just feels interminable. Nobody wants to have to play the battles that long. Nobody. Yeah, the robot's right there, and I don't even click it because I was like, oh, all these are just text boxes, and then I'm like, oh, whatever, we'll just keep going. Obviously, that doesn't matter. Yeah, my bad, but yeah, it's a robot thing. If you ever play this, you should go do that, and it'll point you to a bunch of pieces that you have to find around the town to give it, to like repair it, before it gives you items. But it's not very hard. It's very straightforward. So we'll leave the town square and continue our march through all of these enemies. The one piece of video I've seen from 13.2 actually takes place in this area. So I know that you revisit it. I'm curious how many areas are recycled in 13.2. It's probably a decent amount considering that game is very much a sequel in response of we're going to fix the things people didn't like but make another one relatively rapidly, because this game, oh god, it took a decade to make and cost millions and millions of dollars. So, you know, I'm not expecting 13.2 to feel super unique, but I am curious to see what it is. I don't quite have a timetable for when I'm going to play that yet. I'm very worried about burnout. Because this game took a lot out of me. I probably shouldn't have done 2 Let's Plays. I think when I do 13.2, it'll just be a main video series, and it'll run for, you know, a month, month and a half like this does. And that'll be it. As I do more Let's Plays and I'm trying to feel out what is Let's Playable and what isn't, there's a lot of games that I really want to play and maybe even talk about, but I don't think Let's Plays are the best format for it. I mean, I have a podcast, Let's Plays are secondary, so it's fine if it doesn't work out, but I feel weird about it in general. But we'll see what the new year brings. This Let's Play will be going probably through mid-December, I guess. That sounds right. Maybe late December. But I'm not going to keep anything in the morning slot after this. Morning slot's going away, probably. Unless Jackson wants to do something in the future, he's welcome to have a spot. Oh, sorry for the chair noise. Noisy chair. When I'm not playing, I'm just leaning forward and back and stuff. Chair creaks all over. Normally, I'm very stationary. But I'd like to work on finding the right games to Let's Play. And I say that knowing full well you're going to get the rest of Fabula Nova Crystallis on this channel. By the time this goes up, Captain Toad might have started? I intend to do Captain Toad. That's not out yet, but it will be, and I'm going to play it, and I hope it's good, because I'm very excited for it. And I don't even know how that's going to work as a Let's Play video series, because I'm not sure there's going to be a ton to talk about. Just cool levels and me cooing over how cool the levels are, because I think that game looks super cute. I didn't even save. How bold. You're going to get smacked down doing that. Okay. I'm glad that I learned better. Not saving is really dumb. I don't want to die. Who wants to die? Yeah, these ruined buildings are great. I'm sad that they're just populated by these dumb Seath monsters. They're kind of the least interesting enemies in this game, I feel like. They're just big crystal beings. But all this stuff that feels very warehousey and like repurposed for schools and stuff, that's all great. I wish we could have like seen the Urba community when there were still people here. Maybe in 13.2. I'd like to know what this world looked like populated. I don't know enough about 13.2 to know if it has like towns or anything. I just know you play as Sarah, and there's that gather guy, and then you collect monsters. And there's time travel. So I assume you could very easily go to a point where this is populated, if there's time travel. These are all the things I know about 13.2 going into it. Yeah, I mean, everyone who's played 13.2 says they like it a lot, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm sorry this is just the 13.2 preamble, but It's where my head's at right now. 13.2 comes out 2 weeks from tomorrow at this point, I think. I already have it pre-ordered. I don't, like I said, don't know when it's going up. Figure out later. I was waiting for this weapon for Fang because I looked up people's weapons and I was like, this one sounds like the best one. Took so long to get it. Very near the end of the game when we finally get it. It's a bummer. And I'm messing around with accessories. Accessories are weird in this game because you power them up and they get better, but you can also break them down. I never did break anything down. I don't really know how that works. It seems overly complicated for a game that doesn't seem to demand much of it. I did just fine with level 1s throughout most of the game. In between this and the next video, I give everyone... I have maxed out black belts on everyone because I needed it to go get the growth egg, because you have to fight a boss that's really heavily in physical. But that, and then I leveled up everyone's weapons finally, but that was it. And honestly, the gains were good, but not crazy good. Like, just focusing on your Castarium gives you way better gains. I'm not sure why this game has so much equipment when so much of it seems so unnecessary. Just make a game like 8 where there's no equipment, there's a weapon. And that's basically it, you know? It's clearly where this game was going in terms of not having a whole lot of going on. You barely even get money. Like, I spend very little time shopping. Unless you're going to upgrade weapons, you spend like 0 time shopping. Yeah, I got an examine and didn't come back, so I don't know what that was for. I do love this broken rail system. This is great. It feels very desolate. Like, I don't know what Lightning thinks is down there other than the fact there's a marker at the end of it. Because it's clearly just a broken bridge. There's nothing here. But, whatever. Lightning doesn't use logic. Lightning just fights enemies, right? I guess that's what she's about. I did a bunch of shopping there, or went through the shop. I cut it out. There was nothing there. We'll continue on with the story.
Ragnarok. Come, day of wrath, O pulse the sea. Embrace thy fate, thine home to burn, that fallen souls might bear our plea to hasten the divine's return. O piteous wanderer, Ragnarok, make of this day a brave epoch. Deliver the divine, Ragnarok.
What? Sarah, how did you...
I was waiting for you to open your eyes. All the time I was asleep, I knew what was happening. I kept trying to think up a way to save Cocoon. Together.
Sarah...
You get it now. There are no gods with miracles to save us. No matter where you look. That's why we have to call one. Destroy Orphan. We'll save the world.
Stop it!
You can't do that. You love me too much. You do, don't you, Claire?
Enough already.
I like that they just drop her real name with no
All
fanfare.
shooting for the same goal.
I also like that it's just a totally normal name like Claire.
And the result
pretty good.
of that is this.
You son of a...
Goddamn Space Pope again.
You betray your foul seed to chase after dreams and shadows. The world you claim to wish to protect now faces the end of days, with no hope of salvation.
I didn't think Fal'Cie had the means.
Oh, it won't be Fal'Cie who destroy her. For centuries now, Cocoon has provided generously for its human inhabitants every want and need. Coddled them, one might even say. The result being their deep-seated fear and hatred of change and all things alien. Fed, nurtured, and ready to detonate at the slightest spark. The seeds of destruction take root, even now.
What did you do to Cocoon?
I resigned, appointing Reigns as Primarch in my stead.
Reigns? He's alive?
The puppet is restrung to serve my needs, yes. Its eyes had long since turned to glass. Of course, the cavalry's eyes will see our friend as nothing more than a traitor to their cause. They'll say the Fal'Cie got to him too, or some such drivel. And imagine, when I spread word that it's Orphan tugging at his strings, what happens next?
You're gonna use the cavalry to take the thing out?
Perhaps. Or perhaps I'll feign the howling of Pulsian wolves and let the fear-addled sheep slaughter themselves first. Either way, the end is at hand.
Space Pope is not a nice man.
But what of yourselves? Will you enjoy the festivities beside me? Or perhaps reach the end here, in the land where it all began?
Actually, double speed this battle because it's not a particularly interesting battle, but you'll see. It's long, but in reality, it's just a huge battle of attrition as it slowly elaborates on itself and whittles us down as we whittle it down. But the same real habit of Med, Sinsab, and then Ravage Commando does really well for us. As one might expect, this game is not very hard at this point. And I know I'm on easy mode, but in reality I feel like it wouldn't be that different even if I was. It wasn't, because it was just about the technique, and it just made my battles shorter. It didn't feel like it changed how I approached battles. I might have had to use Sentinels some more, but that's not a positive. I hate Sentinels. Who wants to not do damage? But I love that this thing is slowly growing more faces the more we hit it. It's like the opposite of the first time where it had all those abutments and we broke them apart and then attacked the center. Instead we just go to town on this guy. At double speed, this whole battle is nonsense, but I mean, at this point, if you've watched this far, you're used to the rhythms of this, that you know that nothing much is going on, honestly. It's all very straightforward. I think it's really strange that they use this boss again. Like, this boss was like clear turning point, and it's a cool boss, don't get me wrong, but why again? Like, why not create a new cool thing? Why not create, like, fight Space Pope in its human form? And I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say this is not the last time we fight Part 10 was. And the other fight is not much different than this, honestly. He's stronger, but it's still this big face guy. He's still huge and ridiculous, shoots a bunch of laser beams, and he's still fighting the exact same way. I don't know why they would make you do this twice. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Or 3 times, I guess, actually. This character was not interesting enough, and never is interesting enough to justify that kind of investment. Like, it's fine that you fight Seymour a bunch in 10, and it's fine that, like, that's a character that you have a lot of motivation to fight, because he's a dick the entire time, and he's always dogging you, and messing with things, and kidnapping Yuna, and all the nonsense that Seymour does. Or even a joke recurring villain like Ultros in 6. Like, he comes back, but every time it's kind of goofy, he's weird, he's got a gimmick, it's fun. Why wouldn't you enjoy fighting Ultros again? But this guy's like super serious and just spouts all this pseudo-religious nonsense, and then you have these big, long, protracted fights that aren't interesting, but they're exhausting in a way that even most bosses in this game are not. I think the only boss I have a harder time with than this guy is that airship that killed me so many times early on. But Barthandelus is just chip away, and he'll fall over eventually. It's a shame. It is what it is. That paradigm, lightning's really bad at killing. I don't know if you know this. Switching over to Hope as a med is way more effective. Even if I weirdly feel more exposed when I'm not healing. Like when I'm healing I feel safe, even though in actuality, like this is a much safer configuration for my battle, I think. At least then I'm doing damage and achieving something, right? It's weird how that stuff plays into like human psychology. Hope has never really let me down much in terms of healing when I need it, so I don't know why I never trust him. I should never have gotten him Kiraja. I don't know if that's here later, but he gets like a bigger Kira, but it doesn't seem like it does a whole lot more than 2 Kiras. I don't know why you would do that instead. Kira works just fine. It seems to work for the entire game just fine. I don't know. I'm no expert. I didn't pay too much attention to how the spells work out. Maybe someone will tell me, and I'm totally wrong about how healing works in this game. Wouldn't surprise me if I'm wrong about a lot of things about how this game works. I think that's more revealing of where my focus was playing this, which was kind of just taking it all in and shaking my head at most of it. I didn't mean for this to become me being down on this game. I'm glad that I'm done with the chapter once this battle's over. This is the last guy, and we get our Crystarium up, and I can level up, and then I move on to the last parts of the game, and that's great. That stuff's awesome. Oh, this is just me trying very hard not to complain about this game so much, so I guess just watch this battle be ridiculous. Why not, right? I do like this chanting choir boss theme that only he seems to have. It's ridiculous and overwrought in the way that... Oh, excuse me. It's very late. It's ridiculous and overwrought in the way that Final Fantasy orchestral themes often can be, but it feels appropriately churchy in a way most of them aren't. Like, this feels like religious music. Only fitting for Giant Space Pope. We're getting him, whittling him down. The problem is he doesn't take any damage when he's not staggered. It's very unfortunate. But I'm pretty sure this is our last fight with him. Look at how dangerously low I'm getting. This is what happens when I get overzealous. And I'm poisoned. Oh, yep. Hope was dead. What? I don't know what resurrected him there. Was that me? It's going so fast I couldn't tell. It was probably me. But so close to dead. So very close. Thank God for lightning, right? And then they get slowed or stopped right at the end. Right at the end. Just keep going as fast as I can to kill it. And we do, barely. I only get 3 stars for a triple. That's a real bummer.
The time has come. Allow me to extend my invitation. To save a people beyond salvation, there is only Ragnarok. Cocoon suffers. Release her from the pain. What?
I like that he literally just drops off an airship for us to use. It's very convenient. Oh, excuse me, dropping stuff.
So, this is the end of the rainbow, huh? Well, here's hoping the pot's full of tips on dealing with crackpot Fal'Cie.
You know, I don't remember this being here before. I guess it's new, huh?
Yeah, must be. I suppose it might be a record of what happened. You know, after we turned to crystal. Cocoon, where the slaves of Lindsay dwell, is the enemy of all life fostered by Pulse's sacred hand. So our Fal'Cie determined Pulse's will, chose l'Cie, and gave them a focus. Become Ragnarok and bring about the end of Cocoon. And so the beast arose, defeated Lindsay's hateful Fal'Cie, and prepared to tear Cocoon apart. But her providence betrayed our l'Cie, draining Ragnarok of strength. Their focus only half complete, the l'Cie were taken to the enemy's land by Bartandalus, curse his name. And the goddess said, l'Cie who rest upon Cocoon will reawaken, however long they may wait. And Ragnarok will rise again, to tear the land from its seat in the sky. Her word is absolute.
Guess the jig is up.
Cocoon's done for, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't sweat it. If we go ahead and smash Cocoon, you know some makers sure to roll up and save the day.
As long as Fal'Cie are around, this fight is never gonna end. So let's finish it. Let's get Daisley.
So what do we do about Orphan?
We help Orphan. What else can we do? If we can manage to keep it safe...
Another war breaks out somewhere down the road. We're l'Cie. It's not like we can make people stop fighting.
Lightning, you told me on Cocoon. It's not a question of can or can't. We just do it. That's our only choice this time. Maybe it won't do much. Maybe only one person will listen to us. But even then, isn't trying better than doing nothing?
I like that Hope suddenly became
Ripples can make waves.
the inspirational,
Okay.
tough guy.
Kids have gone crazy.
Like he's the most efficient
Revolutionaries
and
always get
effective
cold
person.
crazy.
When I was on Cocoon, I wished on those fireworks. I wished to not let anything happen to Cocoon this time. But I shouldn't have wished for that. Wishes aren't enough. Prayers either. This time I'm making a promise. I will keep Cocoon safe. I promise. No matter what.
I guess it takes losing everything to make you see how much you have to fight for.
And we're the only ones who can do it, right?
Right.
Yep.
All right then. Let's tie up loose ends.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Quite literally saying, hey, this is the point of no return, go do the stuff on Pulse before you move on, please. Which I will do. Heading back to save, but this is the end of this episode. Come back next time for more Final Fantasy XIII. We'll continue on into the next chapter. Once again, I am Matthew Marco with AbnormalMapping.com. You can find me there or on iTunes. Just search Abnormal Mapping. It's a podcast about video games, as you might expect. It's pretty good. We'll be talking about better games in this one. And when I have someone to play off against, it goes better. So I'm just going to let past me fill out the Crystarium. And I'm going to leave you guys. And we'll pick up again next time. Thanks.